Tier 1, Chapter 13. This chapter will resonate with anyone who has had to be a single parent, whether for a short time or for a long time. And by the end of it, you're going to see Kate starting to break.
Chapter 13. The next few days are a blur. Between making a few changes for Grace, keeping up with my work schedule, and preparing for Bentley's first mentor meeting, I hardly have a moment to miss Eric. Yet I still do. Bentley has taken advantage of the situation to finagle his way into my bed each night. This morning, I find both boys in my room. Bentley is strewn across the bed sideways, and Tal is curled up on the floor with a pillow and a blanket. I try to get out of bed without waking them, but Bentley stirs despite my cautious exit. Tiptoeing into the washroom, I hope to at least pee in peace. "Mom?" Bentley calls. "Hey, bud, I'm just in here washing up. Did you sleep well?" I say as quietly as possible while still allowing him to hear me through the door. "Yes," he says sleepily. After washing my hands, I walk back into the bedroom and resume my position under the blankets. Tal is awake now too, and he jumps up on the bed to join us, pushing Bentley out of his way. "Tal, stop! I just woke up. I don't like being messed with when I'm tired." "Hey, there's plenty of room for all of us," I correct. "Bent, here, you come next to me. Then Tal can have all the room he wants." I pull him close and kiss his forehead. "Tal, did you sleep well?" "I ended up on your floor. What do you think?" "That you love me so much you just couldn't stand being in the other room?" "Nice try, Mom." He lets his face flop onto the pillow. "I had a really bad dream." "Oh man, I'm sorry. Those are the worst. Do you want to talk about it?" "I've mostly forgotten it now, but it seemed really real." "I know. I have had some like that before. They can be truly terrifying." I reach over and push his hair off of his forehead. "What do you boys want to do today before Daddy gets home? You don't have conditioning today since we are meeting Bentley's mentor tonight. Dad gets home around 2 p.m., I think." "Mom, am I going to like my mentor?" Bentley asks hesitantly. "I like Steven," Tal says as he rolls over, stretching and yawning simultaneously. "You like him too, right?" "Yeah, he's nice. I just don't know if mine will be nice." "Bent, he's going to have so much in common with you. I think you'll definitely click," I assure him. "But you don't know for sure." Bentley looks skeptical. "Mom, why do we even have mentors?" Tal asks. "I already have a mom and a dad and a brother. Why do I need Steven too?" I shift Bentley over to my other side so that I am between the two boys, putting my arms around their growing shoulders. "Do you remember learning about what it was like way before the crisis?" "Like, way before? Like when dinosaurs were on the Earth?" "Not that far back. More like when the United States first became a country," I answer, amused. "What is the United States?" asks Bentley, tracing freckles on my arm. His soft touch sends shivers up my spine. "That's what this whole region was called before the crisis," I clarify. "It was called the United States? That's weird." "It was actually the United States of America, and it was a lot bigger," Tal says, reaching over to my nightstand and drawing a squiggly shape in the dust. I am now aware that I haven't been keeping up on cleaning lately. "This is what our region used to look like, and this," he draws a thinner shape next to it, "is what it looks like now." "Why is it so much smaller?" Bentley asks quizzically, looking between the two shapes. "You have to imagine that all around these shapes are oceans, Bent," I expound. "A long time ago, the top and bottom of the Earth were covered almost entirely with ice. Now there's just a little bit. All of that extra water flowed into the oceans and lifted the sea level above where the land used to be." "Yeah, and lots of people died," Tal interjects. "Tal, enough," I warn. "He will learn more about that when he's older." "Fine. Anyway, now our region looks like this, and this right here," he draws a large rectangle, "is the Midwest Territory." "That's us," says Bentley excitedly. "Where is our house?" "Right about there," I point. "But back to my original question, what was life like then?" "I know people were farmers. They had to start from scratch in a new land," Tal says. "Right. Once they set up communities, did children grow up and move somewhere else in the country? No. The same families lived in the same place for a long time. Yep, for generations. What do you think that looked like for a kid, say, Bentley's age, in a town like that? That kid would have lots of relatives, Tal jokes. Exactly. They would have their parents, their grandparents, their aunts and uncles. If they were having a hard time, they would have lots of people to talk to. And lots of people to tattle on them, he mutters. But that's a good thing too, I say, raising my eyebrow. It might not seem like it now, but when you are older and have your own kids, you will be so glad to have extra eyes and ears around. I doubt it, he grins. That's specifically why the mentoring system was instituted after the crisis. For tattling? Asks Bentley. I laugh. No, silly. I tickle him and he thrashes wildly. Because once the world started getting more populated and new technology allowed for people to just up and move all the time, people became disconnected. They ended up living in places where they had no family, nobody to help them with kids or to support them and teach them how to navigate the tough times in life. Kids and parents ended up self-medicating all the time with entertainment or substances. It was a mess. So as soon as they were making societal decisions, they instituted the mentoring program to foster more connections. So we have more people to turn to, says Tal. Exactly. And people who are genetically similar, just like family. But why not only have family? He asks. I think it would be ideal to have family around. Maybe we will have the option of doing that in the future, but it won't work as of now. Why? Asks Bentley. Because people don't live long enough. Do you really even remember my parents? I do, says Tal. Barely. The last time you saw them was when you were 5 years old, Tal. Grandma died when she was 44, and Grandpa died 6 months later at 46. So, I sigh, we keep families together as much as possible, but there's only so much we can do. Mentors are still a great option for now. I'm hungry, whines Bentley. Are you bored with this conversation? I tease. I am, says Tal. Hey, you were the one who asked. I reach over and poke his ribs. You didn't warn me that the answer would take 5 years, he laughs. All right, sorry, let's go have breakfast. You guys still haven't told me what you want to do today. I want to go to the duck pond, yells Bentley as he runs to the stairs. Pants. I still need to find that kid some better pants. After breakfast, I spend some time looking over the plans I received for Bentley's new conditioning routine. They were sent a couple of days ago, but I haven't had a chance to review them. I notice right away that he will be advancing in both math and social ethics. Advancing is the wrong word. Rather, he will be shifting focus. I think immediately of my conversation with Nick. I know that Bentley will be much more entrenched in experiences and education that will solidify the social responsibility pathways he has already formed. I know he will have much more expected of him, but I hope he won't get the same societal pushback that Nick has. Help me out! They're attacking! I hear Bentley's voice filter down the hall. Bring reinforcements, Tal answers in an official tone. I pause in my task, just listening. It is rare these days to hear Tal engaged in imaginative play, and I don't want to miss it. Eventually, their voice is lower enough that I can't make out what they are saying. I return to the report, a smile still on my lips. It looks like Bent's math will be much more experiential, and he will have a new instructor. Most of the kids in his group will be at least 3 years older. I checked to see if Tal is in the same group, but he isn't. Makes sense. I don't think that would be a good situation for either of them. My eyes widen when I notice Bentley's time requirement has gone up. He will be as busy as Tal. Signing the form, I turn off my tablet. This year is going to be a shift, and I'm not sure I am ready for it. Again, the unknowns of Eric's service create instability where there wasn't any before. How can I prepare to handle this when I have no idea what it will look like? The constant weight on my chest feels a little heavier this morning. As the boys are still playing happily, I take a few moments to meditate. I close my eyes, enjoying the momentary peace and quiet.